body as being in regards to matter. But quantum physics, quantum mechanics states that matter is only a shadow of energy. So I am here with these charts to show you a multidimensional world, and I'm going to go into greater depths with the body and how it creates symmetry to create balance in order to move with these charts in greater detail and farther down in other videos. But this is part of the intro to show you how I utilize these maps to triangulate the tension out of the body, to take the total amount of tension that's holding on to the body. Yes, and I said total amount. So your body, as it gets older, it gets tighter and tighter. That's what the helicoil does. And the helicoil, mentioned that. The helicoil, that's the back helicoil, and it wraps around the front, and your body utilizes the magnetics of energy with these helicoils to create a solid structure off the musculoskeletal system in order to move. I can't stress that enough. Now, I created, that's supposed to be a 3D format. That tension goes through the body. Okay, what this is an illustration of your inner energy. Okay, and this is depicted through hieroglyphics throughout time. Okay, you've seen that on hieroglyphics. We're not going to go into that right now. That's the energy flow and how it flows around the body. And your energy grid pattern runs on a frequency that goes outside the body, just like Bluetooth, just like wireless. I don't know how it's hard to believe that your body's an antenna. It goes around to the brain, and your brain calculates the pull from gravity from the pull from your inner energy. See, and why don't they take into account the pull of your inner energy and the forces of that on your body? Things that make you go. Now, here's a brief description of your inner energy and how I labeled it. You can find better illustrations, but this is to give people a general overview of the inner, how it works. And I'm going to show you how it incorporates to your tendon tension grid and pattern, how your body creates a pattern in order to move. Again, another disc. And again, A, B, C. You can see how these crisscross, which these all intersect the chakras that go into every ancient civilization, medical technology that we know of. But what is those forces on the body itself? What are those forces on matter? And how does your body create symmetry in order to move? And those are those forces, the pull on the body. Damn it. Now I'm going to illustrate how your body utilizes this pull of your inner gravity, your energy, your higher intellect to stabilize, to create symmetry in order to move using the helicoil through sacred geometry and matter to create a solid foundation in order to move. And you can already see the triangulation in the body. And what I went ahead and just grafted out through matter. But this is how your energy flows. And this is the actual backbone that uses energy to create tension through magnetism and triangulation to create a solid structure in order to move. And it wraps around the body. And it wraps around the body like a DNA coil. you're not always symmetrical when you're moving from your right to your left foot. And what it does, it creates a grid pattern in order to move off of that is asymmetrical, but the energy tension creates symmetry. So this is how your body would triangulate tension to create a stable platform in order to move. And that order is different from each person, but generally it's all the same pattern because it's distributing tension through life. And it's the tension from the forces of gravity, from the tension of your inner energy through here. When it's going in a circle this direction and it's pulling you this direction, that direction if it's in your back, well, that's pulling you this direction here. And that's pulling in the front, forward, down that direction. And what I take into account is I gridded the body with my protocols, and I take into account all those forces and I apply it as necessary, basing it upon the forces and physics of your inner energy to the forces of gravity. Basically, these lines, the blue lines and the red lines, become the blueprint, not the black lines, because I drew that on there. The green, purple, blue, and red lines are the blueprint from which you create a foundation of matter in order to move. So you tell me why this isn't important, why this isn't even more important. You tell me why we should not take into account the forces of your inner energy when this is how your body moves. If reality is energy, and energy is from frequency and vibration, in reality, we are beings of energy and vibration, radiating at our own unique energy, signature, and frequency. We are much more than we perceive ourselves to be, and it is time that we start to see ourselves in that light. It is truly the blueprint for how we use matter to move off of. Okay, right here is an illustration that I basically built. And what it's to illustrate are muscles in your body and the knots. And how your body creates a grid, which is called a fractal geometric grid. And you would have to be delusional to not know at this point in time that there's tension right here is a different frequency with a different vibration than right here. Well, because of that knot has a different frequency and vibration, just like guitar strings when you tune them. These create a dot, which create a magnetic flux, which creates tension, which creates another triangle, which pulls that bigger triangle and creates a more solid structure. Now you look at that and you see one triangle, but I tell you, it really creates, in reality, 4. If you want to connect the dots, and you can spider web it out. I'm going to show you a live model right here. So I'm going to get a mannequin from now on. Needless to say, I need to show you this. I need to show you how this all relates to the back one on the chart. We're just going to come up this direction back here. And what your body does, since this is the golden ratio area right here and how it triangulates off of, it's going to go up this way on your back. And you got to think of this. This is a solid structure. Remember, it uses solid structure. This solid structure right here. This solid structure right here. Now, what's important in knowing all the forces, when you're on here, this leg is getting pulled in from your energy. Well, you know what this hip is doing? This hip is getting pulled in this way. You know what this rib is doing? It's getting pulled in this way. You know what this shoulder is doing? Is this. This shoulder is doing this. And this is how your body gets wound down from your tension, trying to stabilize from ailments through life, tension and this and that. And I'm going to show you right here. Now, if you're on this leg, based upon this triangle right here, and what happens, if you're in symmetry, see this right here? If you're in symmetry, it goes down to here, and you can look on the chart. Well, what it does, it needs to grab a hold. So it's going to grab a hold right here. And it's going to go to this other backbone. What's that do? It's going to go down to here. Now, look at this. You see I don't have the legs connected. Because you'll have memory over here that affects this leg and vice versa. You have memory that goes through the leg. Alright, we're going to come, and this goes up. This is what's important. Because this goes up to here. And this is where your high tension area is. And most of your stuff is based upon the calculation of this triangle because that's your strongest muscle. When you're on your left leg, it's the butt. You got to realize the physics, the forces going from here to here, okay? If you did the physics and you're a math person, you can do all that. Now you have this force pulling this way, this force when you're on this leg. So when you're running, what's happening? So if you're running or you're walking, you're living life, you're not addressing those pulls, then you're winding down. Now, that's the reason why I had that. Now, we're going to address that to the front of the body. We're going to address that to the front of the body. As we're coming up this direction, it comes over, but you're trying to create a solid foundation here. Well, you have symmetry over here. So what can it do? All you have is a spine. It has to use this bone, and I said come up, and it likes to connect right here. And what this does, it connects all the way down here. And then you go up, and you create a lot of triangles. It's a self-defense mechanism in order to protect the organs. When you get a stomach ache, do you feel a pain? You know what that is? It's a triangle, by the way. Now, what this does, it goes to a solid structure because this isn't real solid. There's a bone here, but this isn't real solid. So this goes to here. Okay? Then it can triangulate any which way it wants. Now, what it does, it comes up to this rib, and it goes over. I'm not going to give you everything. It's a triangle, 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 triangle. You can see it, and this is the triangulation through the exoskeleton. But when it gets caught in a memory, because your back's trying to create a solid structure, boom, creates that memory right here, right on that bone. So it needs to create solid structure right here. So it goes through the body to this rib. So if we go from this point to this point, you imagine we're on a good computer and we have 3D models. It'll be here, this point to this point here, this point to this point here. Now that tension through your body will triangulate through the exoskeleton triangulation, okay, through fluid. And you can have several of these. I had to get every one of these out of my body, release every one. Then my body realigned. That's for another video. Then you can have another triangulation trying to solidify this. So let's say you have too much tension right here. This usually happens. Then it's going to have another one go up. Then to here. And then back to there. And then we can just make the triangulation. I see this like you see reality. But needless to say, this comes up. Your ribs can create so many triangles in it. That's what they were made for, to create more triangles in order to create more stability when you lift. When you lift something out to the side, when you lift something heavy, you can feel the triangulation to your rib. In fact, the release for the elbow I have is on the rib, on that left rib. When Another thing you can do, as you can see, all these triangles create more tension. But why is it important? Let's say you've taken a step. Every time you pull this in, you're creating a subconscious habit that's creating more bad triangles, more bad triangles, more bad triangles. That's why you need the corrections of movement through life in order to stop the winding down of life. It looks weird with all these things on me, but I can go into this it's such great detail. Not only I have 3 ways of proving this. Okay, I have through mathematics, vortex, and through sacred geometry. That's one way. I ask anybody to come and try to deny me on that. Then we have through your movement in your body itself. And we were talking about how these relate. I want you to try to bring this knee up right here without this knee bending. And if you can do that, let's take it a step farther. Let's straighten that leg. Now, did this knee go in? This knee move in? What moved? Did this foot move out? I'll take you another one. Let's bring this leg up and bring this leg out without this leg moving. And watch where this toe ends up. Because a lot of people, the knee goes in, creates that toe to go out. And that all creates arthritis. And when you go to the doctor and they go, oh, it's arthritis, that's their answer. You can take it or leave it. But I'm telling you right now, it's your tendon tension grid that's causing the arthritis. Now you have a choice. Keep building that arthritis to stabilize it or release it. And so hopefully that will conclude everything that we need to talk about. You can see this is very detailed. It is so hard for me to get this into a 15-minute video. I'm going to try to pack it into a 20-minute video. The main thing that I want you to know, this is informative, first of all. And I feel like I had to bring this information out, and I'm so happy that I'm done. These are all my MRIs, so you can see that I did rewind injuries off my body. That was documented. That was my neck, thoracic, so you can see just by the seriousness of my injuries what I've had, and I lived with that for 14 years, and it was getting so bad to where it was pulling my hip out, and I thought I was going to have surgery. Now, I also have a EMG that goes along with it also. And you can see back on that one, I had a 3mm disc herniation that went into the nerve and then 4mm down the nerve canal. Okay?